Get in here, get in here, please, everybody. This is essential to our well-being. I had put a team together to figure out this birth certificate and the social security card dilemma. Now, we all know the birth certificate is a stock bond, right? It's bond traded on the stock market. But what if I told you that our birth certificate was a bond to the whole earth, right? Which is the United States, all 50 states. Now, if you wonder how Black Wall Street around America got so rich, this is what happened. When they did the Reconstruction deal, the United States government was like, hey, look, we can sell your mineral rights and we will pay you under your bond, which is traded on the stock market, because our birth certificates was a membership of the organization corporate of the United States government. Now, how do you get paid from the stock market? You have to have an account number. So they erased the account number and just put it as a social security card. But how did it get infiltrated and how did we lose our stock options? Now, this is where the foul out of Native Americans come in at, because they infiltrated, which was the original corn pro-tail. So now they dismantled the Indians and say, well, we don't know where they at, so they can't get paid off the stock bonds of the corporation. Now, who is the corporation? The corporation is McDonald's. All these companies supposed to be paying us for the land mineral rights. So imagine if you had individual stocks, McDonald's, the railroad, whatever. But our birth certificate was the ultimate stock bond of everybody. This is where you get the whole bank account from. Well, the so-called routing numbers, right? But now it gets deeper. This is where Walter Plecker came in at. This is where Jesse Jackson came in at. This is where the color and all this come in at, because they kept giving our money to other countries. This is why so many embassies in Washington, D.C., because they kept getting our land mineral rights and we kept paying them instead of kept paying us. Now, if you look at the Great Depression, we were never involved in the Great Depression. And they was like, Lord, look, give us y'all gold so we can get back to peace. And that's what our ancestors did, thinking that it was going to be more Wall Street. That's why they call it the Wall Street, because we owned the ultimate birth certificate, which was the stock certificate of the whole earth that we supposed to get paid. If that makes sense. We was the shareholders. Okay, we was the shareholders, bro. Yo, I'm back with another one. But did you know the FBI had a war on bookstores? Books that explained that we had over 300,000 patents among the so-called African Americans. Books that showed us that we was in the pyramids before the 1900s. The actually real Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights that showed that we invented it. Books that shows that we gave Washington, D.C. 12 blocks during the Black Indian Peace Treaty of 1776, and we actually built Washington, D.C. for them. Bibles that had maps of America that shows the biblical places in America. Diagrams of America looked like Egypt. Books of Egyptian relics found around America. Book of Egyptian Sphinx found all around 50 states. And the Book of Tribes.
Never came up with any of its own money to obtain the promissory note. Am I hearing this right? I give you the equivalent of $200,000. You return the funds back to me, and I have to repay you $200,000 plus interest. Do you think I'm stupid?
All the banks are doing this. Congress allows this.
Does Congress allow the banks to breach written agreements, use false and misleading advertising, act without written permission, authorization, and without the alleged borrower's knowledge to transfer actual cash value from the alleged borrower to the bank and then return it back as a loan?
But the borrower got a check in the house.
Is it truly the actual cash value that was used to fund the bank loan check came directly from the borrower and that the bank received the funds from the alleged borrower for free?
This is true.
Is it the bank's policy to transfer actual cash value from the alleged borrower to the bank and then keep the funds as the bank's property, which they then loan out as bank loans as if they actually owned it and loaned their own money?
Yes.
Was it the bank's intent to receive actual cash value from the borrower and return the value of the funds back to the borrower as a loan?
Yes.
Do you believe that it was the borrower's intent to fund his own bank loan check?
I was not there at the time, and I cannot know what went through the borrower's mind.
So if a lender loaned a borrower $10,000 and the borrower refused to repay the money, do you believe the lender is damaged?
If a loan is not repaid, the lender is damaged.
So is it the bank policy to take actual cash value from the borrower, use it to fund the bank loan check, and never return the actual cash value to the borrower?
The bank returns the funds.
Was the actual cash value the bank received from the alleged borrower returned as a return of the money the bank took, or was it returned as a bank loan to the borrower?
As a loan.
So how did the bank get the borrower's money for free?
That's how it works.
No more questions, Your Honor.
This video is between a man talking to a judge and asking him questions about how banks work. And we're going to cover a few things here that are very important. But first, we're going to go through all these screenshots. I give you the equivalent of $200,000. You return the funds back to me, and I have to repay you $200,000 plus interest. The judge's response is, all the banks are doing this. Congress allows this. The guy says, does Congress allow the banks to breach written agreement, use false and misleading advertising without your written permission or authorization, and without your knowledge, transfer the actual cash value from the alleged borrower to the bank? So what happens is when you go into the bank and you apply for a $200,000 loan, they get a check with your name on it after you gave them your Social Security, and they then take that check for $200,000 with your name on it, and they give it back to you as a loan plus interest, but they got it from you. And then again, like I said, return it back as a loan. The judge's response is, but the borrower got a check in-house. So when you even go to finance a car, you give them your Social Security number, your credit, you're there all day because they are waiting on the check with your name on it to come through so that they can then give it back to you as a loan. So then he asked, is it true that the actual cash value that was used to fund the bank loan check came directly from you because your name was on it? It's your money? And that the bank got that money from you for free. No equal consideration. They got it from you for free. And he says, this is true. That is the section that you hear in the beginning that I stitched. He then asked, is it the bank's policy to transfer the actual cash value from the check to themselves and then keep the money as the bank's property, which they then loan out as bank loans back to you, as if they actually owned it and that they actually loan their own money? And he says, yes. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. It's been proven time and time again. They get money from you, your money, then give it back to you, and somehow you have to pay them interest. It doesn't make any sense. It's your money. What they're actually supposed to do is give you the check with your name on it when it comes in-house. Which is why if you go and watch that video, the judge says, I don't know what's going on in the borrower's mind, but they also know that you're not reading your contracts, you have no idea about truth in lending, and you don't know anything about money. For if the people understood the financial system, there would be a revolution before tomorrow, but y'all don't care about that. Y'all just want to dance.
The herbs that heal would have to be alkali on 7+ instead of acid 6.9. I begin to test it. I test comfrey, acid. I test garlic, acid. I also tested aloe vera, St. John wort, rose hips, comfrey. All of these things are very acid. Carrot juice is extremely acid, yet the healers in New York then and now are still recommending these acid foods. So I said, well, let me investigate further to see which are the alkali herbs. And I began to see that burdock, yellow dock, also the elderberry, these are alkali plants. Also the Virginia snake root, that's alkali. One has to know the herbs that are alkali opposed to the herbs that are acid. This today is not really considered, nor do they follow that particular, road or understanding. Because the herbalists of today are recommending peppermint. Peppermint is very acid. Peppermint freezes the brain. Some even recommend peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is extremely caustic. So now we have this kind of information in front of us being disseminated and carried out. So there's confusion in the population. But the one thing that my supporters or the people that helped me, that counseled me, they said to me, Sebi, the one thing that you have in your favor is that you have cure and you are curing the diseases that others are not curing. So that is the barometer that tells us that the acid herb that they're using prevent them from reaching the goal that they're pursuing.
All 13 colonies. This is going to blow y'all away. I'm telling you, this is going to rock the world. Okay? All 13 colonies had rich black people in those colonies, rich black people, families, wealthy black families in all 13 colonies, and they all owned slaves, white slaves, not black ones, white ones. Yes, it was indentured servitude, okay? But they lived on the black man's farm and they worked for the black man. And the only difference between a slave, it don't matter, you're still a slave as long as you don't, you can be a slave either way, but you're still a slave. But the point that 13 out of 13 colonies, all 13 colonies had black people own white slaves. They did. And they worked for them. Imagine that. Guess, when the Civil War was over with, the black rich, like Robert Johnson and that black woman in Louisiana that had all those slaves. Yeah, she had over about, I forget how many slaves she had, about 400 or 500. I'm telling y'all, man, they've lied to us about everything, my brother. And I'm not mad at the black man for this. I know I'm blaming this on the devil and evil people. Because it never bothered me. I don't care about color. But the fact that 13 colonies, out of all 13 colonies, there were rich people, black people in every one of those colonies that owned blacks and white slaves. I told y'all, we've been lied to. They want you and I to kill each other so they can control the country and dumb us down in school so we don't never learn our history. You know why we don't know anything about it? Because they hid it from us. Our politicians, the left, right. Can you imagine all the black backlash is fixing to come from this? They've lied to us about everything, black and white.
Look what I found, y'all.
Okay, good video. Here's some fine tuning. Don't show them on paper. Show them on your phone. Go out and Google 28-3002 when they start going, are you a U.S. citizen? Cool. Good question, officer. According to that federal law, the United States means a federal corporation. So how could I be a citizen of a federal corporation? Perhaps, officer, you've been lied to about the law. And there are things you may not know. Let's discover this together. Show me where in your statute, Texas Code number 624123, who cares?
We want to know.
Google it. Show me in the statute where it says you can arrest me prior to conviction. Show me where it authorizes you to impound my vehicle.
We will know.
Just like you've been lied to about a U.S. citizen, maybe your boss knows that you're acting on your individual capacity and he cannot be prosecuted, but you can. And he cannot be sued, but you can. So perhaps we should slow down, de-escalate the situation, get together with clean hands, in good faith, with fair business practices and full disclosure, and walk through this so I can show you that it is my right to travel without a license and a registration.
No.
See, once you show them several federal laws and show them in their own statutes stuff, then they become much easier to convince that this folder you carry around with you when you travel,
I don't travel with license, y'all.
So be patient with them. Remember, they're compartmentalized idiots. They've only been taught enough to do the job, but not everything they need to know. That's why lawyers speak for them in court, unless they're testifying against you. Because they're wards of the court still. Oh, they're officers. No, they're wards. You know how you can tell when a cop is in my class?
Don't look at me,
he's
police.
Sitting in the corner.
I'ma sue every time you look at me.
Cap on, because they don't know shit about law.
Get in here. I didn't even want to make this video, but I just got word that the NAACP is nothing but a bunch of Indians, bro. And I didn't want to believe it. They even got their own, right? They even got their own constitution. Now, I went on their website, right? Now, I'm thinking I'm finna see some white Native Americans and blah, 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 skippy. I end up seeing black Native Americans. Now, here go a Native American tribe, right? Here go a Native American tribe right here. This is their names right here, right? So I went to go look it up. Go to Indian Chief. This the Indian Chief, boy. This is one of the old pictures. But this is the Indian Chief. Don't he look like Jesse Jackson and all of with that hair? Yeah, that's what I said. Then I'm looking at more of the profile. I'm reading it. You get what I'm saying? They even got, bro, predominantly black Native Americans who settled in Connecticut. Here go another one. Bro, this is just one tribe. They got hundreds of tribes on there, bro. NAACP are the ringleader to all these federal recognized tribes, bro. And this is why he called us an African American, to make us distinct as not under this tribal, right? But dig this. Your last name is some of their last name. So y'all family. But not only that, look what I found out. And he's what? Them Cherokees, bro, they are dangerous to society. I have always heard them Cherokees, they would sell like their own mama. I have always heard about these Cherokees, bro. And guess what, bro? That tribe leads back to the Oklahoma Historical Society. So the NAACP been setting us out this whole time knowing we was Indians? That's cold-blooded. Woo, that's cold-blooded. Yo, bro, I had to do a part 2 because a lot of stuff I ain't explaining right. But as you can see, right, this tribe right here, right, as you gonna look up the name, I'm gonna show you something that we all missed, including me. If this the chief of the tribe that look like Jesse Jackson and with them perms, big dog, look at their profile. They settled in the 1600s. But I thought we came to America 1619. If you look, we came to America 1619, but this says the 1600s. But not only that, if you go on their website, they got hundreds of black tribes, bro. We ain't never heard of, bro. We ain't never heard of these tribes, bro. They got hundreds of these tribes under the NAACP. Boy, they sold us out, boy. I swear to God, bro. You gotta look under there. They got hundreds of black. Yo, I'm back with another one. But this is for the peoples like me. I don't like paying car notes. And they tried to repossess my stuff, but never could repossess it. And let me show you why. Repo, definition, legal meaning. All right, so a contract in which the seller of the security, such as a treasury bill, agreed to pay them back. Wait, so is your car a treasury bill or is property? So that means the car was already paid for. It has nothing to do with none of that. This is why they give your car to the auction and don't care. They can care less about it. Because once they give your car to the auction and they selling it, it can be called a lost cause, which your car was yours already. Now, how do they get around this? It's also called a purchase agreement or buyback. So when you made the purchase to the car, they're supposed to buy your stuff back. You're supposed to get a check because the car was already paid for because it's in your trust. You feel what I'm saying? And listen to this. That a form of short-term borrowing from the dealer in government securities. The dealer sells the government securities to investments. So, wait, why did they take your car? The car was already paid for. It's no money being exchanged. It's only your signature paid for the car, bro. Oh, so you understand what I just said? It just over your head. I hope you learned something today.